Hey guys, how's it going? It's Infernomen again, and welcome back to another video on the channel, and this time I wanted to do a quick redo of my shiny collection showcase that I did a few months back. I think it might have even been before quarantine started, I don't remember, but it was definitely in 2020, earlier in the year, so I wanted to do another one since I've gotten plenty more shiny since then. Being stuck at home a lot does mean that a true shiny hunter will use their time to go into any Pokemon game and shiny hunt, because you got all that time on your hands. What are you supposed to do besides grow your collection? So that's exactly what I did, and I recently bought Pokemon Home again for the full year this time rather than 3 months like I did before, so I thought it would be a good idea just to show you guys all my shinies. Basically what I'm going to be doing here is showing you all of my shinies. Of course you can see all of them here, but I will be talking about some of my favorites. That's basically what this video is going to be. If you guys are excited, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. I don't know if we're there yet, but we're very close to 500 subscribers as of recording this, so if I'm not there yet, I'd really appreciate it if you'd subscribe for more Pokemon content. And without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first shiny I wanted to get into here is my shiny Beedrill from Let's Go Pikachu, and the reason why I want to take notice to it is because it was my first shiny in the game. As you may know, if you played Let's Go, you know that shinies are really easy to get in that game. One thing that I had seen on Twitter and everywhere is that people were getting shinies in the middle of their playthroughs, and I wasn't. So I was like, well, I want a shiny and I haven't got one. What should I do? By the end of the playthrough, I hadn't gotten a natural shiny, like a random shiny throughout the playthrough, but halfway through the game, I went back to Viridian Forest, started encountering Weedles, and eventually after a few hours, I finally got one. It took over 700 encounters to get it, and I had a lot of Weedle candies from it, so I used all the ones I could. And this Beedrill was basically broken. It was one-shotting everything. So that playthrough helped me grow a stronger bond to Beedrill, and while it's not one of my favorite Pokemon, it's definitely one of my favorite Bug-type Pokemon now, and I really love shiny Beedrill, so that's why this shiny is so important to me. But let's move on to the next one. So the next shiny I wanted to go over here is Orion, my shiny Mewtwo, also known as my first ever shiny legendary, and thanks to Dynamax Adventures that got added in the Crown Tundra, shiny legendaries are easier to get than they were in the Ultra Wormholes and Ultra Sun and Moon, because if you do not know, the odds with the shiny charm are 1 in 100 or 1 in 25 for all 4 Pokemon if you catch all 4 Pokemon in Dynamax Adventures. If you follow me on Twitter and have seen all my tweets about it, you can see I have plenty of luck. I think I have 9 as of now shiny legendaries, and Mewtwo was my first one. Got it in around 50 Dynamax Adventures. Okay, so the next shiny I wanted to talk about here is Luigi the Shiny Scizor, and this has a big story to it. So a couple weeks ago, if you do not know, I had a shiny race with my friend Mega Master XY. He challenged me to a shiny race, and we both decided on Scyther. So we went to the Isle of Armor and started our hunt. I have a lot of shiny luck, which I've mentioned already in this video, and people were making jokes about, oh, Landon's gonna get in the first 30 minutes, and Landon's gonna get in under 100 encounters, and that's exactly what happened. Looking back at the VOD for the stream, it said I got the shiny around 41 minutes, but the first 11 to 12 minutes of the stream, we were waiting for Brian to finish setting up his stream, so technically I got it in 30 minutes, and I got it in 19 encounters. We named it after my friend Latin Luigi, so both great content creators. Brian recently hit 500 subscribers. He does scripted videos for video game reviews and stuff like that, and Latin Luigi, a good friend of mine, he does Nuzlocke content just like I do, so definitely go check both of them out. The next shiny I wanted to talk about here is Suicune, my second Dynamax Adventure shiny. I got this one right before going to bed one night. This was my last Dynamax Adventure of the night, and I had my finger on the power button because I was going to check all the shinies. If none of them were shiny, I was just going to turn it right off and go to bed with my disappointment. But fortunately, I didn't become disappointed because Suicune was shiny, so such an awesome shiny to get. I'm sure if I was streaming, people would be going nuts off the walls, but I hadn't started streaming until about a month and a half later. So the next shiny I want to discuss here is Finch the Shiny Ho-Oh, which, by the way, I'm just going to go over all of my Dynamax Adventure shiny legendaries just because they're shiny legendaries, and I love the stories of how I got them because I have gotten them pretty quickly, most of them at least. But Finch here was my third shiny Ho-Oh Dynamax Adventure. I had started streaming at this point, but I didn't get it on stream because I was at my dad's for the weekend, and I was just doing Dynamax Adventures random ones, and I ended up getting a shiny Ho-Oh. I love shiny Ho-Oh. It's got perfect balance with gold and silver. It's such an amazing shiny that I've wanted for such a long time, so I'm happy to have it, and it's definitely cherished in my collection. So normally I wouldn't go over a shiny Pelipper, but this one is special specifically because the hunt took way too long. After 1,200 eggs at least, it almost went to 1,300 if I recall correctly, I finally got a shiny Pelipper after hunting it for a week and a half, and it was so satisfying to finally get it. It was like the middle of the night, so I had to be quiet so I don't wake anybody up, but like, holy crap, this was way too long. Longer than it needed to be, but there we go. The next shiny I want to go over here is Tron, my shiny Metagross, and that's because when the Crown Tundra released, I was on my way to the top of the mountain where you either get Spectre or Glacier depending on the carrot that you choose, and usually when something new drops, I catch all the Pokemon I can on the way, so when I'm trying to finish the Pokedex, it's a lot easier to do because I already have most of the Pokemon. And running into a Metang, it was actually my second one because the first one actually ended up dying due to hail. But thankfully the second one didn't because it turned out to be a shiny, so I ended up registering Metang as shiny, and now it's a Metagross. I love shiny Metagross, so it was great to finally get one in the actual games. The next one here is Choco Loco, the shiny Regirock, and he's kind of paired with Mint Beans, the shiny Registeel, because I got them both in the same stream. I got Regirock here in 79 encounters, and I got Registeel in 158. And that was quite the stream. If you were there, then you can definitely agree. I also started my Regice hunt that day. I don't like shiny Regice that much. It's not that different, so it's not surprising that that's the one that's taking forever. Currently, as we're recording this, I'm on 2,100 encounters, and I plan to stream again next week, and hopefully we get it next week, because I think I'm gonna go insane. The next shiny I want to talk about here is shiny Heatran named Heatmeat. Somebody in the chat, a younger viewer, wanted me to name this Heatmeat, so that's why it's named that if you're curious. This was my first shiny hunting stream. It was technically not a shiny hunting stream, I was just doing random Dynamax adventures with viewers, and this was the only Heatran raid that I had done, and it was shiny, so it was a first encounter shiny legendary, which is amazing. I'm happy to have it. It's such a great shiny, very underrated, so I'm very happy to have this in my collection. Next shiny I want to discuss here is Hoodlum, the shiny Scrafty, and that's because it was my first shiny Pokemon ever. I've told this story before, but in Pokemon White I wanted a Scraggy for my team, so I ended up catching one, but right after I had caught it, the game froze and crashed, so I had to go back to get another Scraggy. To my surprise, the first Scraggy that I encountered ended up being shiny. I used it on my team, of course, all the way through the end, and it was such a great moment for me. I think I was about 13 at the time, so it was only a few years ago, but great shiny. I don't think I'd like shiny Scrafty as much as I do now if it wasn't my first shiny, but I love it a lot just because of that and, you know, nostalgia and stuff like that, so shiny Scrafty. If you haven't been to my shiny Rockruff stream, then you might be a little bit curious about why I already have a shiny Rockruff, and that's because in Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, I did a hunt for Rockruff in the wild and I ended up getting one. The reason why it's unevolved and why I'm doing another shiny hunt, of course, is to get both forms of Lycanroc, and my favorite Lycanroc form is the Midday form, so whichever one has better stats, I'm going to evolve into Midday, so that's why it's not evolved yet, because I want the higher stat one to be my favorite form. Tapu Lele I got on Halloween in only 5 Dynamax adventures. Last but not least, the final shiny I want to talk about in this video is Melanie here. It was my first shiny in Pokemon Sword. I didn't do many shiny hunts in Generation 7, and while I did get a lot of shinies from Let's Go Pikachu, I didn't become very serious about shiny hunting until Sword and Shield came out. Of course, I wanted to go with my favorite starter at the time to start out with, and that was Sobble, of course, so I started that hunt. And it took forever. It took over 800 eggs. Out of all the Generation 8 starters, the Sobble line has the best shinies, and while they might not be that better than the other two, they're still really solid shinies, and I love this shiny Inteleon, so it's great to have it. Well guys, that's going to do it for this video. That's my entire shiny collection. Hopefully I can get a lot more soon, especially on streams, but let me know down in the comments below which of my shinies is your favorite. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new once again, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, this is Infernomen burning out, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Goodbye.